Hey Streets, let me tell you about this cool app that we've been using to help us along our podcast journey. So it's called Anchor and it's just really cool. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And also, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you don't have to worry about that part. You'll be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms, and Anchor will do it all for you. Also, you can make money from your podcast, and everything you need to make a podcast is all in one place. It's awesome. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. We'll see you there. Welcome to Chapter 30. I'm Miss Kay.
And I'm QueenTee.
This is a place for those women
and men
who feel that they have no one to talk to.
We're here. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hey, Streets.
Hey, Streets. We're back.
We are back. Season 2 in the house.
T, it's 2020. We're back with season 2.
Can you believe it?
No. Craziness.
God. Okay, Streets. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for joining us in season 2. The response with season 1 was just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We are sorry that we kind of left you hanging a little bit. But you know, as we say in almost every episode, life, and we want to make sure that everything is good and on track in our personal lives. And making sure that the content and the material that we bring you is good and acceptable and satisfactory, and we don't want anything less for the streets.
Facts. Can we tell them how we actually recorded this episode just a few days ago, but we're back doing it again just because wasn't feeling it, and that happens sometimes.
Absolutely. I didn't even think about that. That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure that we are comfortable with what we put out there as well.
Definitely.
Exactly.
That's
so
worth listening to. I'm not gonna put something out there that we're not 100% behind. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it also has to be something worthy, if that makes sense.
Exactly. And also keep in mind, we haven't recorded in a few months now, so we had to make sure that we got back in the flow of things. We had a whole conversation about this the other day about how kind of we were a little bit detached from chapter 30, not meaning that it completely left our lives and we put it all the way to the back burner, but it was a little bit of a transition trying to get back into the mode of recording and everything that comes along with it. So, there was a little bit of a transition period, but we're going to get it right, we're going to get it tight, and we're going to bring you some amazing, amazing material for season 2. Season 2, 2020, chapter 30, just all these numbers I'm loving.
I know, right? Facts. So, T, what have you been up to since we last met here?
I feel like so much and nothing at the same time. So, there have been some things that have changed since season 1 in my life. As the streets know, in season 1, I was working a lot. I was working 2 jobs. That has now been minimized to 1.
Nice.
Which is a good thing because I'm actually working on getting a promotion at the one that I decided to stay at. So, wish me luck on that. And also, I'm going to be I'm going to be still the same T. I'm still going to be as vocal and as sometimes blunt as I can be. But I think I'm going to be coming from a little bit of a different perspective this season, as I'm now in a relationship and have been for a few months now. So yeah, that's just a few differences from season 1 that you may hear me say different things now in season 2. But that's about it. That's what I've been up to, and just living life.
Nice.
What about you?
Well, still working like crazy, still trying to find that work-life balance, but still working. That hasn't changed. Still single in these streets.
Take note, men. Okay, good men.
Yeah, good man. And like you said, so much has changed, yet it's kind of the same. But chapter 30 has definitely been like on the burner, but like on the back burner. So like, I still been like, you know, thinking about it, trying to think of new things, and
Yeah.
it's been in our mind. We've been like working on it. But again, it's been on the back burner. So yeah, that's what's going on.
All right. So since we are, well, let me, before I even jump into anything else, we're in a new year
Mm-hmm.
in 2020, and I don't want to brush past 2019. I feel like 2019 was just, for me specifically, it was just like a year of transition,
Mm-hmm.
a year of transformation, a year of growth. A lot has changed for me in my life in 2019, good and bad. But I also feel like just there was a lot going on in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
people around me and just like in my life. Um, of course, I'm not going to say anything specific, but I just hope for everybody in 2020 that everybody just, and I feel like that thing that everybody is looking for, or that weight that needs to be lifted, that's going to happen this year. Like there's going to be chains breaking, there's going to be just growth, and I feel a sense of relief,
Mm.
just like breezing past us in 2020. Like I just see it just coming across everybody's life, and I pray that for everybody, um and especially you, Miss Kay. Like,
Okay.
you're my partner in crime, and I pray that everything is just well for you in your life, and you continue to grow. And I'm so proud of everything that you've accomplished in 2019. 2019 was a major year for you, and I was so blessed to just witness that, and I pray that it continues for you in 2020.
You too, babes.
Thank you.
2019 was like a year of so many chains breaking for both of us, and
Yes.
we were both able to witness, like, literally, like, each other just, coming free of, so many
Yeah.
um just past issues, just growth, just life in general, just the things you go through. So that was definitely amazing to watch, and like just all the conversations that we have had off air, that influenced the podcast, but more so just influenced our life and our friendship. Like it's just been like, wow, like game changer 2019. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. And it's crazy because a lot of that had to do with chapter 30.
Yes. Thank you,
Like,
chapter 30. That's why, like, even though we get detached, like we owe so much to chapter 30, because
yes,
you said it has a lot to do with chapter 30.
absolutely. And there were times where I guess it kind of like played on each other, our friendship in chapter 30. You know what I mean? Because there would be some times where we would just be having a regular conversation, and it would just go from 0 to 100. And that would create the theme for whatever we want to talk about on the
Right.
podcast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes we'd be on the podcast
Exactly.
talking, and then something would come up, and then we would go offline and like
Exactly.
maybe dig into it to where, me and you are comfortable enough to really, really, really
Exactly.
dig in. And it was just like, kind of like a play by play. And it was crazy, like
Crazy.
just how everything connected with the podcast and just us personally.
And I can't stress enough how, like, most of the stuff happened offline. It was
Yeah.
recorded. Like the like ugh, I can't even really like ugh. It was nuts. Like we just had some real heart to hearts, and just
Yeah.
all 2019. And I mean, we've been friends for years, but it's like 2019 was that year. It was just like, it would be like therapy sessions, our conversations. Like, I
Yes.
didn't realize this, but this. And it was just like, we were just learning so much about each other, just evolving. But it just, it was meant to be. Like, it was definitely
Absolutely.
designed to happen that way.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up the fact that we were friends for years, because don't get it twisted. We've been talking, like me and Ramon
Right.
talk a lot, a lot.
Uh-huh.
We have a lot. This is how our podcast started. Like
Right.
just the conversations that we've had.
Mm-hmm.
But last year it was just like a light bulb.
Yeah,
And it
there you
was like,
go.
I'm like, how are we still discovering so much about each other? You know what I mean? Like, how is
Mm-hmm.
it? but that's growth. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? And I'm proud of the both of us.
Me too. Me too.
It's not easy to. We were growing, and we were basically doing that in front of people. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
That's not an easy thing to do, and to just like just throw everything out there for the world to see and be like, here, world, you know, this is cut me open and here it is. You know what I mean? I'm just leaking all over the place, and you know, do with it what you will. But I'm proud of us that we took that step, because sometimes that's all it takes.
Facts. What's her name? Amanda Seals. You know her? Amanda Seals. Amanda Seals. I don't know how to say the girl's last name. She's on The Real now, but she was like an actress. She was in Insecure.
Oh, okay. Yep. I know who you're talking about.
So a lot of times she has a pretty unpopular opinion, and people don't really. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on online with her, but I bumped into a video she posted the other day, I think yesterday, and she was just talking about how it's just not easy to do that self work, and it's just not fun, and sometimes we avoid doing it for whatever reasons. But it was a relatable video, because sometimes it can be quote unquote easy to just be like, this is who I am, this you know how this is what it is, and I'm just gonna deal with it. But you really like open up that closet and you confront them skeletons, and you're like, wow, you know, what's going on here? Why is this way? Or you know, like it's that's the real work. Like, it's real.
I'm so glad you brought this up, because I've been having this on my mind all day, and I was saving it, and I didn't know if it was gonna be for another episode, or I didn't know where it would fit. But I felt like this is perfect, because you know, you brought up self-work, and like, just me personally, like, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm not naturally a dedicated person. Like, I'm not naturally an ambitious person. I'm not naturally like the person I'm not a planner. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not that way naturally. And in order for me to get stuff done, it takes a lot. Like, I have to push myself to do these things. You know what I mean? Like, I have to have my mind set, and like sometimes I really have to sit there and like really make my mind focus to be like, okay, we're gonna do this. You know what I mean? And that's important, because I feel like sometimes people give up because they don't have that thing that other people have. And it's not everybody's gifted with different things. So it's not like because they have this that means you're less than or you lack. You know what I mean? It's everybody has their thing that works for them.
Right.
And helps them in their life. But so I feel like there are people who kind of give up because they're like, they see how determined or how ambitious that person is, and they see that work that they're putting in, how it's blessing them in their lives. It's like, well, dang, that's just so hard, and I don't have that. So it's like, I just might as well do nothing. You know what I mean? And I get that thought process. Trust me, I get that thought process. But just like everything, you have to, it's mindfulness first. You know what I mean? Once you realize, okay, I don't have this trait, I naturally was not born with this trait, it's up to you then to decide, okay, what are you going to do with that information?
That part.
You know what I mean? Like, so you can't blame nothing on anybody else if you get to the point where it's like, okay, they have that, I don't have that. Or
right.
That person, they might not have been born with that trait either.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But they have worked so hard to get there that now it's natural.
Right.
So I said all that to say that, you know, even with this podcast and even with just the things, sometimes things have happened in my life that I don't even know how it happened. Cause I'm like, I'm a Libra. Libras are lazy. Like, you know what I mean? It's easy for us to get into our comfort zone and just be like, all right, I'm gonna just chill here. But 2020 is the year to just push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Just try something new. And just 28 days, you know what I mean? Stick to it for 28 days and then go from there and see how it is. I don't know why that thought came to me or where it came from, but somebody out there is giving up. You know what I mean? somebody out there just feels like, oh, I just don't have it. It's not meant for me, or that's not my path,
Right.
whatever. But just try. Just try to push yourself. And I promise you, whatever it is that you are looking to achieve is going to happen. You just got to keep trying.
Mm-hmm. That part.
I don't know what I can.
That's funny because my cousin called me last night and she was bringing that up too about creating a habit, and we were just like holding each other accountable. So that's crazy that you mentioned.
Yeah.
But as far as like the ambition part, like it's so like interesting what like others can see in you or in any person, and then what you see in yourself or what that person sees in themselves. Because I feel like last year I've seen you become and just be like so ambitious.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe ambitious is not the word, because what is it? Ambitious means like you have goals and, like, you know what I mean, like that you want to achieve,
You go
right?
after them type of thing. Yeah. Like,
Okay, because I mean, listen, I have ideas for days.
mm-hmm.
Like, I could throw a whole bunch of shit out there, but will I actually really put in the work and the effort to do it?
So are you saying like you're not okay? Are you saying you're not ambitious on all levels of your life as you'd like to be? Because I can name plenty of things that you've done and completed last year alone.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, wow.
I'll use myself as an example.
Okay.
I'm ambitious on some levels, but some levels I just can't. Well, I
Yeah.
could, but like, so I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm this ambitious person. Like everything I want to do, I set out and do it, because again, I have a million things that I could
Right.
be doing or that could have happened had I have gone harder and really went all out with it. But then there's
Right.
things that I've did and I've completed, and I look at you the same way. Like I feel like there are some people who lack ambition overall, and
Yeah.
okay, I hope they, get where they need to go. Like, life happens, but
Mm.
I just feel like I don't know. Me on the outside, I just feel like I see you ambitions. Cut. Or you know what? You know what? We could keep that in there. Chapter 30. Whatever. Okay. We can keep that in there. I'm gonna be real this episode. I see your ambition shine through in a lot of aspects of your life. So I'm not claiming that for you. Maybe like there's some levels you're like, okay, I want to be more ambitious here, more ambitious there. But I can like flat out name like 3 things you did last year that you set out to do.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We have this conversation sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
where we are hard on ourselves.
Yes, we are.
And that kind of just blew my mind a little bit. Like, guys, okay, disclaimer, 100% freestyle. This is not notes.
This is such a freestyle.
We are literally
so annoying.
just having a talk right now.
Uh-huh.
And my mind is blown right now because this is something that we have talked about previously. And we both have very high standards for ourselves.
We do.
And we are very hard on ourselves.
We are.
So that kind of humbled me a little bit, because I'm like, oh, you know what? Not humble, but it's like, you have to be your own cheerleader, and you have to like take a step back and realize how far you've come, and what it took to get there and stuff like that. So just because I do have 1,000 ideas in my mind and what I want to do in the future, like we talked about this last season, don't forget the step that you're on right now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And take that in. So I appreciate you for that, because
no problem.
I'm just like, I ain't do shit. Like, I don't do nothing.
You know what? We got to be careful what we speak over our lives.
Absolutely.
Speak over like our capabilities, and we can't be saying things like, I'm not ambitious. No, you are. Say, I'm ambitious, and you know what? I want to spread this ambition in this part of my life, and I want to get better here. But to say you're not ambitious is crazy. You're working 2 jobs. Can I mention your weight loss? If not, we can
go ahead.
You set your goal, you crushed it. You're slim.
Thank you.
You look amazing. That was something that you wanted to do. You did it and beyond. And plenty of other personal goals that, you know, we discussed last year. Even if there's many goals, like you're like, okay, I want to do this amount of time, then, you know, transfer and do this, and then I want to do, and you're doing it. You're in the process of a lot of this stuff, and a lot of the stuff you've already done. So if that's not ambition, I don't know what it is.
Streets, get you a Miss Kay, please.
You do it for me too. You already know. There's plenty of days I'm just in my little zone, and you're like, and you just pour that love into me. So it's a give and take. Being honest, I don't just say this stuff, you know.
Thank you. Thank you, because that reminder was well needed, and you know why? Because okay, let's talk about 2020.
Yes.
We're gonna just fade into that because I do have a lot of goals for 2020, and I think that's why I'm feeling right now like, yeah, 2019 I was okay,
right?
You know what I mean? Because I have so much in mind for 2020, and I feel it's almost overwhelming because like it's like, dang, I want to do so much and I want to get so much done, that I kind of overshadowed what I did do already.
That's so easy to do.
You know, it's very easy to do. So let's bring this, because I feel like let's bring this back to a positive note. Mm-hmm. Let's keep that going.
Yeah.
What are some of, or one of your goals that you really, really want to achieve in 2020?
Okay.
Personally.
I want to feed like more into my creative side. Like I really want that part of my life to really be a big focus. Like work-wise, professionally, like, you know, there's that, but like I really, really just want to be more of a creative. Like I am a creative spirit, like, and I just want to have that just more evident in my life, you know? Like I just want to be doing more of that, whatever that is. Like
yes.
That's what brings me passion. We mentioned this in the episode we recorded previously, but is now trashed, that I had my little book club going. I started one on Facebook. You know, I have a few members. I had 3 books that we were starting off with. People were ordering their books. I was working on getting the questions together because I've been talking about having a book club, guys, for years. Like,
yes, you have.
Every time I'm on Facebook and I look at the memories, it's like they're like, I own a book club. Like, and you just get tired of saying stuff over and over. So I finally just did it. I made a virtual one. We were in it for about a week or so. And then I just was like, I'm not feeling the vibe. So I just canned that. And it just made me realize that I'd rather have one more so like face to face. I just want to have a good vibe, you know, candles lit, appetizers, music, like we all get together like an hour and just have like book talk, girl talk, you know, on the book of the month. So it's tough because a lot of my close friends are like, you know, you will be in it, you're in Georgia. I'm sure Bree actually was in the virtual one, but you know, she's in New York. Like a lot of my friends.
Shout out Bree. Hey Bree, hey,
Bree. A lot of our friends that would be in it, they're, you know, they're not local. And then I do have friends local that were in it and would be in it. But, you know, I don't know. I got to figure it out. I know there are a lot of people who do have virtual book clubs and it works successfully. So maybe I'll join one and kind of see how that goes. But I'm like 80% sure that I want mine in person.
Yeah. Okay.
There's that. I said all that to say that.
That's an amazing goal. And I'm so, well, actually, first of all, you achieved it by even taking that step to do the online one. And, you know, it was a learning lesson because you realize, okay, you know, this is cool, but what I want for myself is the person, you know, the in-person.
Right.
And just the fact that I know for a fact that you've been talking about this for years.
Serious.
And just so, you know, taking that step to actually get it done, I applaud you for that. That's so cool. And I wish I could be there when you do the in-person one because I've always been saying, girl, I want to be there. I want to be in it.
Right.
Because it just seems so like the vibe just seems so cool. Like it's such a vibe.
Right. And I've told you like the one online felt more like online class and I don't want that vibe. Right. We all have real people are in school, people are working. Like I want this to be like a spot that's just not that. I want it to be just fun. I want to talk, like books are amazing. I love books and I want that environment to, you know, reflect how fun it is. I don't want it to feel like you have to write a paper or you have to log on. Like, I don't want it to be like that. So,
Well, I hope that it is everything that you want it to be, and it is going to be, because manifestation, speak it is going to happen.
So what about you? Like, what's something that you want to do this year? What's something that you are going to do this year?
This year, I have made it a priority to explore more, just whether that's within my own state of Georgia, or just I'm really going to vacation more. I'm going to take the time out from myself to enjoy the life that I'm living.
That's so important.
Yes. 2019, I worked a lot. Like, I worked a lot. And it's not like I didn't have fun. Like, I'm going to have fun regardless. I could be at work and have fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have fun. But I didn't go anywhere. Last year, I think I went to New York, back home. And that's about it. Like, I didn't.
You went to Alabama, right?
Yeah, I went to Alabama. I forgot about that. Oh, shoot. My bad. Roll Tide. I went to Alabama. But that's still like,
I know.
That New York is my home. Alabama is his home. Like,
right.
I wasn't on a beach. That's my idea of vacation. Right. Like, I want to be on a beach, sit back, relax. Want to get in some water and everything like that. So 2020, I'm definitely going to be vacationing more. I'm going to be doing things that I've never done, which I've already started doing. Actually, yesterday, I went rollerblading for the first time. I never went rollerblading.
Oh, really?
Fell directly on my ass. My ass still hurts. But it was an experience. You know what I mean? It was something that I have never done before. And it was really, really, really fun.
And now you can take that off your list. So that's great.
Exactly. So that's what 2020 is about. Just like stepping outside of my comfort zone and taking time for myself to enjoy the life that I'm living. And I actually have a few trips set up already, and it's only January. So
nice.
I just plan.
How you do it?
Huh?
I said that's exactly how you do it. You just set them up. You just go. Boom.
Exactly. And I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to say yes to everything. Lord help me. Lord help these finances, because I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to be there.
So I want to share something, like a goal of mine, like for the podcast, specifically. I posted this actually on our page, and it says, "Let this be the season you create perfect," and then it crosses out the word perfect, and it puts beautiful things.
Ooh.
That remind you, amidst the noise, you do have a voice, you do have a story. And this is by it's by this author that I really, really... Okay, here it goes. Her name is Morgan Harper Nicholas. So she's amazing. I just ordered her book. Like, she has all the things, all the vibes, all the feels. So I posted that because I don't want to let the idea of perfection get in the way of creating. Like, it's not going to happen. And that's kind of like why I kept that blooper in there. Even though in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, am I going to cut that out? But it's just like, sometimes you just have to just live life, color outside the lines, like as cliche as it sounds. And, it's not going to be perfect, but it's still going to be beautiful, and it's still meaningful. And, it's just life. It is what it is.
That's actually a really good segue into, we talked about our own personal goals for 2020. So I think we should share with the street some of our goals for the podcast for 2020. What do you think?
Definitely.
Awesome. So actually, I think 2 of our goals for 2020 will be accessible by the time they hear this episode. I'm gonna have you talk about the first one, because I am just in awe of, like, seriously, Ren, you know the feels.
I know.
You know the feels. Like, just go ahead and let them know. I can't.
what Drake said, it may not be nothing to y'all, but we are now, like, I might not really get why we so hyped, but we are now on YouTube.
Yes.
So you can find us at the Chapter 30 Podcast on YouTube. Season 1 is there and available. So go binge watch the podcast.
Binge watch the hell out of it, especially if you are not caught up on all the episodes, or this is your first, season 2 is out right now. So if this is your first episode you listen to, go back. We got season 1 on YouTube available, right? So many people have been asking us to go on YouTube. It's there now. Go.
There. Go subscribe. Go like. Go comment. Share. All that. Awesome. So, if you know, you know. But like, sometimes when you see the product of something, it's like, oh, cool, they did it. But like when you're behind the scenes doing stuff, it's not always as easy as it seems or as easy as it. So even things that seem simple, like, oh, all you got to do is hit record and you're on YouTube. Like, it's not always that simple. There's a lot of things that go into things. So that's why we're so hyped. And it was a goal of ours. So
yes. And we are not like tech gurus. Right. We did not go to school for computer engineering or none of, like, we don't know this stuff. You know what I mean? We're literally, that's how the podcast started. We literally just jumped in, and we were lucky enough to have people help us along the way and give us little tips and tricks from here, from time to time. But we are self-taught. Like, and YouTube was one of our major goals. We kept talking about it. We kept bringing it up throughout the year. And Miss Kay FaceTimed me at work the other day, and I could not help but to answer. I did not care. I was on the register. And I'm like checking people out, and I'm like, listen, hold on real quick. What? We on YouTube? So that is a major blessing. And thank you so much, friend, for putting the work and for getting that up there.
We both be putting in work, so no problem at all. And you mentioned this in the last episode, so let's just mention it now too. The episode that didn't make it, but it's just audio. So see our beautiful faces, but for now it's just audio. But when we do link up, you will see a lot of visuals and things like that. So get ready.
Absolutely. It's just, it's still in the making, it's still in process, still in construction. But it's there. So don't worry, more to come. So I'll talk about what I've been working on behind the scenes. One thing that people have been asking about this too is merchandise. And I don't want to keep, digging into this, but it's so true. It's not easy trying to run a business when your partner is 1,000, 3,000 miles away.
Exactly.
It's not easy.
It's not, guys.
And especially because, we each have our own lives. We have our own things going on. We both work.
You know what? See, people really like, when people find out that we're not in the same room, they're like, really? You guys sound like you're in the same room. Like, that's because, like, I mean, we don't have the best equipment yet. But that's because, thank goodness for this app. Shout out to Anchor.
Shout out Anchor.
But also, like, just our connection, our chemistry, and our vibe creates that. Again, we're not in the same room. We're not in the same house. We're not in the same state. We're not on the same schedule. So there's just so many little things that what am I trying to say? That plays into, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, just think about even just us recording this one episode. Like, let's be real. There was so much back and forth today.
It was sickening. I'm like, wait, you're free at 3? Are you free at 5? Wait, are you leaving? Wait, I gotta go to the eye doctor. Oh, my doctor didn't walk in yet. Like, it's just, and then that gets into the creative process, which gets into your mood. And you're like, damn, I don't even know if I'm like by the time you try to schedule it in, you have to make sure, like we always say, that your mood is at least 80% to 150%. Like, you gotta, you can't come out here tired because you done try to pencil this hour, 2 hours in, like, like on 100. Like,
there'll be times where we both have the time and we're good, but we're not good to record. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, you have to be on. You have to have the energy, and we'll ask each other, like, okay, I know we're both off right now, but what percent are you at?
Yeah.
And if Ren says she's at 20, guess what? And I'm at 90. We're not recording.
We can't.
Like,
Because y'all gonna hear it. Y'all gonna be like, oh, well, Miss Kay, she sound like she got attitude, or QueenTee, like she's not talking. Like it's gonna come through. And I was just bring that like 2 days ago. Like, look, I was giving her the behind the, like just telling her how like we can't always just press play and be on. Like mood, energy, all that stuff matters. Especially like we always say this, but we work a lot.
Yeah.
I'm really like, well, damn, but no, we do. So until this podcast pay the bills, like, we kind of got to work around, a lot of things.
And neither one of us are actresses. Like,
no,
we are who we are.
Who we are.
So like
we do
how
what
we are, it's gonna come across regardless. Yeah. Like if I have attitude, if I'm mad, I can't hide that. Like my face will show it all, my tone will tell it all. Like ain't no record. Right. Boom. Hey guys.
Right. Like I wouldn't want to listen to a podcast where people were fake. I'd rather people be real. I had a crazy day at work and I got right. If you're gonna record now, I'd rather you kind of talk about that. Like a podcast is like, it's just for me, like the podcast our podcast, I'll speak on our podcast. Yeah. It's very transparent and it's very real, raw, and I wouldn't want to fake the funk.
Maybe I'll come on here pissed off one day. No, not do that because my mouth.
We both gonna end up laughing and being happy somehow throughout it.
That's true. That's true. 30 is. Chapter 30 is not gonna allow us to sit in that.
It's really a positive, like little podcast. Like,
I mean, my mood has changed already just from us recording right now.
Me too. Because when
and it's not like I was in a bad mood, but it definitely lifted it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I was gonna be like, "Hey, I'm about to get in bed." I'm like, "Girl, I'm just tired. I can't." But I'm like,
let me just. What did I tell you before we started recording? I'm like, "Girl, I might fall asleep." Like. But I'm down. I'm a good 85 right now.
Right. Fact.
Okay. But so let's get back to it. 2020. One thing that we are really, really working on behind the scenes is getting you guys some merchandise. We know that you've been asking for it. We kind of flashed a little bit of our merchandise that we have already last year, but again, testers. Mm-hmm. So we are, talking to different vendors and working with different vendors, and getting samples out and doing the whole behind the scene thing. So don't think that we have forgotten about it. Don't think that it's not on our to-do list, but it is. And we are going to have merchandise for the streets this year. And soon. I won't say this year. I'm going to say soon.
Yeah, like so soon. Like
so. Be ready for that. One thing I do want to say before we say our last goal, is one goal that we do have for this season is to have more guests. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to bring up a little story, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. One child. One child together. Make sure you said what I said about the icing and the cake.
Oh, okay. Sure.
No shade. No shade.
No shade. No shade. We promise no shade, like for real. So, one of our goals, actually, this was our goal for last season, but just the way that things happen, we definitely want to incorporate more guests on this season because it just gave a different perspective, and that is one of our, our core values when it comes to this podcast is perspective. So, you already have two. You have me and Miss Kay. But, we wanted to have a guy's perspective. We want to have another girl's perspective. We wanted to have a celibate perspective. We want to have a gay perspective. Whatever it is, we want to make sure that it's not, just us feeding our opinion on or throw our opinion on you. We want to make sure that we highlighted other people's opinions and, whatever they bring to the table. If they have a business or they have their own podcast, whatever it is, we want to highlight it on ours. So we were so, ready. We were so amped to start season 2. And being that having guests on this season was one of our goals, we reached out to a few people that we knew wanted to be on the show. Us not expecting them to be so ready. Like me, I'm thinking, okay, this is like a little preliminary, catch up, just making sure season 2 is out, coming out, you want to be on, whatever. Streets was like, all right, Friday, 7 o'clock. What's up? Like, what y'all doing?
We legit had like 5 guests lined up like this week.
Yeah.
We have our first episode recorded. So I was just like, wait, what?
We literally had to, and I do apologize.
Yeah, all jokes aside,
to our guests that did make commitments to and had to postpone. And again, if we're not right, if we are not in a good space, and not saying that we're not, but we just weren't, to be honest, in the right space yet for guests. You know what I mean? We're just coming back to recording again. Mm-hmm. We took a very long hiatus. Mm-hmm. And me and Miss Kay just had to make sure that we are our connections are on point, mm-hmm. Audio is on point, right. Our topics are on point, just the little details. We had to make sure that we were on point together before bringing somebody else in the mix.
Right.
So we just wanted to make sure that was on point. And thank you guys for actually understanding that.
Right. And being so flexible and forgiving. And again, I apologize like so much, because I told T, if it was me and I was like, oh, I kept getting like the kind of like the runaround. It was like I would get annoyed and frustrated, and I'd be like, what the heck? But that's not what we meant to do at all. Like, schedule conflicts, just a lot of things came up, and like we just had to get right. But it's a learning lesson.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and we look forward to having you guys. You guys are welcome at Chapter 30 anytime, once the doors open, and it'll be open really, really soon. We love you guys.
Yes, it will. We love you, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So there is a plan. There's a plan put in place now that we have learned that lesson. That was a lesson for the both of us. And sometimes that's okay. That's okay to take a step back and be like, okay, wait, hold on. Mm-hmm. Let's grab onto this thing and just, see where it's going before just jumping in there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a lot coming from me, because I'm a jump in there type of person. Mm-hmm. But, even for me, like, I had to realize, okay, no, this season is different. Mm-hmm. I have to plan this out a lot better. And I don't want to do that to somebody else. I don't want them to just feel like they're thrown into the fire.
Right.
Because, last season pat on our back, toot hoot our horns. We did really good with our guests. Like,
we did.
Our connection and our vibe was so on point.
I love those.
That we were able to grab a hold of the atmosphere of the episode. Does that make sense? Like, we were able to control the episode the way that we wanted to, because our connection was so on point, even if we weren't together.
Right, that part. And what's important, T, is that, like, again, we always say this, and I know people are probably like, okay, we get it, but like 90% of the things that we do is a straight freestyle. So like when you're legit pressing record, and not only is it me and you got a whole nother guest, one that we've never met in person, we just got to know through the podcast world, and that's a lot.
Yeah,
I had like 2 notes. I had like 2 lines down, and it was like, okay, like,
yep.
So that's a lot.
And I'm actually happy that I do have you with this podcast, because I rely on you a lot to get through the episode. Like, sometimes you're talking about something and I can write that down. I don't start off with notes, but by the time we're finished, I have a paper full. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like backwards.
Oh,
but
wow.
It just works.
I started with my little 2 notes. I said I start off with my little 2 notes, and then I never knew that you were writing notes as we talked.
Oh yeah, I'm actually sending you a screenshot.
Wow, that's awesome.
We're done. But like, I'll maybe have like 2 or 3, maybe a word here and there before start. But by the end, it's like, if Miss Kay says something, I'll write, oh, I want to piggyback on that. Let me write it down. Or it might just start another thought in my mind about something else. Like, you know what I mean? And that's just how our conversations are just in general.
Right.
So again, I just want to thank you for that, because like, I feel like that's what helps me get through the episode. And then when you add a third person, so I feel like what doesn't really work for others works for us in some weird way, because when you add a third person, I'm like, oh, that's even more
to feed off.
To feed off of. Exactly. Right.
Because I stay doing a mental note. Like, you said something, and I just do mental notes, but I also write down sometimes, but I'm like, ooh, that was a real good point. I'm like, yeah, because when you said and
Right.
bring it up, and it really helps the conversation. So we're a good combo. We're a dynamic duo.
Absolutely. Shout out to us.
Shout out to us. Hey, before we go,
Yeah.
can we just shine some light on Usher real quick? Usher Raymond. We've been talking. You know, I was doing that. I was trying to do that one.
No, I didn't.
I was trying to, but I didn't want to take it all the way there because it's kind of like scary singing on the podcast because like the sound, But we've been talking about him like the past 6 months, 5 months, I don't know.
I low-key was stalking his Instagram page right before we started recording. But yeah, we were talking about it for a little minute.
Yeah, we've been like, yo, Usher need his flowers. Like, we just been like, just talking about his albums, his songs, just his influence. So we definitely just want to shout Usher out for his work. And he's definitely influenced a lot of, the younger generation of singers. And he's just awesome. And we just feel like he doesn't really get the respect that he deserved.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that there's like a lot of people in the music industry, like Tory Lanez, and there's Summer Walker and some underground artists and Ro James that have like and are sampling his music or have them featured on their music. Chris Brown, he has a few songs with Usher. But just in general, we feel like we don't want to wait until he's like 60, 70, 80 to be like, oh yeah, you had an amazing career. Thank you. Like, he's still out here putting out music. He's still out here doing his thing. Yeah, he's had a little setbacks here and there. He has little, scandals and everything. But that does not take away from just the art that is Usher. You know what I mean? Like, he's like you always say, he still has a beautiful voice. Like his voice is on point.
I do.
He's still out here working. Shout out, and he's a Libra man. Shout out to the Libras. But we want to here at Chapter 30. We take the time out to give Usher his flowers because this man has been doing it for decades. I want to say he's been over 20 years, right?
Yeah, because he, like we said last time, he's 41 now, and he's been in the since he was a young kid. I think, like, wasn't he? Like,
I think his first song was like 15 or something like that.
So come through, Usher.
Come through.
And like I mentioned last time, like with just like the award shows and like how we do the award shows, or how when a celebrity dies or a singer dies or an actress dies, all of a sudden, their sales go up. We keep playing their song. We love them. Oh, we miss them. Like sometimes, like just do that now. And I said, like, I know that the award shows can kind of age you or kind of make it seem like, oh, we're doing this award show, his career is over, and kind of put you in that boat. But like I said, let's change the tone of that. Let's just get more into giving people their props, their praise, their flowers, like when they're 40, when they're 30, when they're 50. If you put in 20 years of work, I mean, it's okay.
I feel like that's automatic.
It's okay to like pause, give them their props, and let them keep creating and actually appreciate what they do after.
Yes. So 20 years, you know how many people he's influenced in 20 years where people are still... Your song has to be amazing for somebody to want to remix it 20 years later.
For real. What's that song you sent me? And I was like, 10, because it's sampled like my favorite Usher song. What's that?
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Last Time by Ro James.
Yes, girl.
Ooh. And he not only did he sample that song, which is an amazing song, he sampled one of the most beautiful parts of that song. His voice sounds so good.
I gotta play it when we hang up.
Yes.
So
wait. So okay, go ahead. Say what you're saying.
Are you gonna say about Summer Walker?
Nope.
Okay. Want me to say it, or can you say it?
Yeah, go ahead. Because I was about to jump into something else.
Okay. So just to wrap it up, Usher, we love you, but it's just so funny that before he even came out on Summer Walker's album with their song that they have together, Come Through, like we've been like, yo, Usher need to come through, like Usher.
Yeah.
We were saying that, and then boom, he came out with a song with Summer Walker called Come Through. So we kind of spoke that into existence. So y'all can thank us for that track. Just kidding.
Facts. That is Come Through featuring Usher in Chapter 30 because
Nah, but that was just funny how we spoke that into existence. I guess you kind of had to be there to get how funny it is, but just know that it's funny. But what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, since we did kind of veer into the music lane,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted you just I don't want to do a full on let us put you on, but I'm not I'm not gonna read lyrics or anything like that, but I do want to put on
Put
the
us
street.
on.
I have to ring because this song I posted on my Instagram today. I legit listen to this song 10 times a day because it's so amazing. So Streets, I'm gonna put y'all on real quick, and then I'm gonna tell you where you can find it because there's some more going on for 2020 chapter 30. Okay, so this song is called PTSD, post traumatic sex disorder.
Ooh.
And it's by Fantasia featuring Tank and the Bonfire. I'm not going to say anything about it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to say, go ahead and listen to it. It's an amazing song with an amazing beat. The bass in that song just flows through my body. But yeah, and Tank, I added you on my Instagram. I've been sleeping on you, Tank. I've been sleeping on you, but Tank has been coming through. So maybe 2021, Tank gonna have a song called "Come Through" too.
Tank.
But I've been in a real big Tank mood lately. So I might maybe our next Let Us Put You On, it might be all Tank songs.
That's fine.
We like our themes.
We do. That's fine. Tank is definitely underrated. He's been having like some scandal attached to his name lately with the whole but he's a good artist, and shout out to Tank, shout out to Usher. Keep putting out that good R&B because it's appreciated over here.
Yeah. Listen, we love it. Bring us more, give us more. Don't let R&B die, please.
No, please.
And I'm not. Never mind. So
what you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, not this whole new age R&B because this R&B is different.
Oh, the conversation that we had about that.
Listen, that's
a laundromat. We was going in. We was going in.
That's why I was going to say nothing because I'm like, yo, we biased as shit. So like,
we are. We are. Yo, there gotta be a meme. I gotta find it for our.
But we have the right to be biased though.
Yeah, we do. Our faces when there's like some new R&B introduced, like I kind of be looking at it like what, like kind of like, but it could be some fire, like it could be a few good tracks, like okay, don't judge me, but even like it took a lot for me to listen to Summer Walker's album, and there's a lot of songs on there that I really like, and dare I say love, like I like her album.
Ooh. And I
but it took me some time to get there because I'm stuck on Anita Baker, Tamika, Toni Braxton, Tim, Tyrese. Like at any given time, like I'm listening to How You Gonna Act Like That, Sweet Lady, Sweet Love. Like it just came out, and I'm just like stuck. Yep, I was listening to James Brown.
Yes.
You would have thought it was the like latest rap song, and it was I Feel Good, and I was just like, yes. I'm just like, you hear them drums? You hear like I'm just all in it. And like James Brown, like so we definitely biased because that day we was stuck at it was longer than the day, but what was that song? It's on the playlist.
You talk about
yes.
Listen, I already know.
So
we have a right to be biased though because we grew up at a different time, and this is gonna be like that. And when I agree with Ren. Whenever I hear like, oh, this is the new hottest R&B artist or whatever, I'm automatically little girl face, and y'all not gonna know what
there you go.
But we gonna put the face up later on so y'all can see in. Actually, I see this being like a little cut with the background with the face.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah. So
the editing struggles. We gotta figure that out.
I'm like editing as we're recording. I get. But I do have I have little girl face, and I'm just
like what? Who? But let y'all say Brandy came out with a new album, or you know, some old school person.
Oh, I'm automatically listening. Like Brandy has a song out right now with is it with Daniel Caesar? And I love it. Is it
You
Daniel
told
Caesar?
me. I gotta listen to it.
Girl, I love that song.
Text me all these songs because they all gotta be on season 2. Let us put you on playlist. Like you gotta put the streets onto these songs, including.
Okay.
So Brandy, Tank, like all these songs. Like
dang, I'm trying to find the song now. I could have sworn I downloaded it. But yeah, she has some 2019 music out. Actually, it's gonna really bother me if I don't find this song. I'm gonna find it right now. Shout out to Brandy. She's been doing it forever too.
Brandy, Never Say Never, Full Moon. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it's Brandy and Daniel Caesar called Love Again.
Okay.
Beautiful song.
Definitely gotta play it. I've heard about it, but I haven't played it yet. It takes me a while to play new music. Oh, but you know who I like? Ari Lennox.
Oh, Ari Lennox, you like her?
I do. I like Shea Butter Baby. Yeah, I like that song. I haven't listened to her album in a whole, but I like her vibe. I like her song. So okay. I be like the party all the time, but it's alright.
I haven't given her any shine. It takes somebody like Miss Kay for me to listen, like literally, because if nobody's like on the music level that Miss Kay's on, and I know she's on that level, I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. You know, somebody.
Yes. And that's crazy because for you as well, like if you tell me, I'm like, I gotta listen to it. And let me tell you, people they send us both music all the time, and that thing will be sitting there like it'll take me like a good month just to get around to a song. But if T tell me, it's that I definitely gotta do it sooner because like,
I'm listening to that day.
Yeah, me too. You know I will in a minute. Like I'm playing it right now. Verse 2 when he said, you know, da 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 da. I love that part. Like
yeah. I remember when I sent you that song by Ro James with Usher.
Playing it right.
Well, first of all, the one reason why I sent it is because I knew you loved that song.
Yes.
But and plus we've been talking about Usher forever. But it was all in all a really good song. So like, I have to send this. When she said I'm in, 2 seconds in, she's like, I'm
and I don't do that. Like
no.
So
not at all. Oh, can I have a quick story to tell before you go to this. So, you know, I threw a party New Year's Eve, right? At my house, had everybody over. It was real fun, a lot of fun. So, you know, we hooked up the sound bar or whatever. So I was DJ for most. Well, Pandora was DJing. Because I know if I put on my music, it's like you know. So then I had one of my friends be the DJ because you know people wasn't digging Pandora no more. Pandora puts on some brand gigs. Yeah. So and plus by this time I'm like I'm a little feeling myself. I'm playing cards. Like I didn't have time to do both. So I put my friend on the DJ or whatever. He was playing some, you know, now songs, you know, songs or whatever. So maybe like 10 songs in, I'm like, all right, friend, I need to hear a song that was made before I was born. Like, like I could do today's music, here and there, a few songs or whatever, but like, if I go an hour straight and I'm still listening to music, I need to hear a throwback. Like, I need to hear something. I won't go as far as I really would prefer a song that was made before I was born, but you know what I mean? If I need to hear a Usher, I need to hear I need to hear a Mario. I need to hear you know what I mean? I need to hear a Sammy, a B2K. I don't care. A Bow Wow, okay? Like something to just like bring me back.
And that's not even like a because we're 30, a chapter 30 thing. Like we've been that way since forever. Like
yeah, it's just how we are.
It's just old school.
And it's no shade to the new school.
It's no shade. Like
there would be no new school if it wasn't for old school.
I was just gonna say
there'd be no old school if it wasn't for new school. You know that's how it works. It's all a rotation.
Exactly.
So this is gonna be old school at one point.
Exactly. So we don't exactly just shut it out and not give it any of its credit, but like sometimes it's not our cup of tea. Sometimes it is, and there's a lot of new artists out here working and keep doing your thing. And
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. We love it.
Like, there's some songs that are out right now that I don't know who the hell the person is, but I love the song. I feel like an old lady because I'm like, oh, that's my song. But I don't know what the person looks like. Like, I like the Baby and Gunna. Like, there's a few that I love. If I saw them walking down the street, I wouldn't know who the hell they were.
Seriously.
Like, I just know their name because it says it when it
I'm
plays.
like, ain't that Little Something or ain't that somebody?
Exactly.
We sound old.
So these songs that we're talking about, guys, we did have this going in season 1. We had our playlist on Spotify. We have a playlist on Spotify. So we're gonna just keep that momentum going for season 2. These songs that we're bringing up now, we are gonna add that to our playlist. So go check us out on Spotify, the Chapter 30 podcast playlist, season 2. So we have another separate playlist specifically for season 2, and it should be up by the time that you listen to this episode.
Facts. And again, if you guys have any songs that you want to put us onto, new school or old school, email us, direct message us, just hit us up, let us know, because we around.
I really want a new school person to put me on.
I would love it. Prove me wrong. Or
if you are 25 and younger, definitely this is for you. Hit me up, hit Ren up, hit the Chapter 30 podcast up, and put us on a song that you would. And I'm just saying, a new school person. You could be a new school person and put us onto an old school song,
right?
But you know what I mean. I just want to hear from them. I want to hear what they're into, because I know what we're into.
Right. I would even like to hear their perspective, like on music. Period. Like on an episode.
Low key, had a conversation with a 14-year-old yesterday. A 14-year-old. She showed me her playlist. Oh, Miss Kay. Why did Home Chick have Elvis on there?
Okay.
She had Michael Jackson.
Michael. We love you, Michael.
She had Shaka. I think she had Shaka on there.
Okay.
She was like, yeah, I like, rap music, or, she was like, but I started to realize that I was just listening to her for the beat. I wasn't really listening to the lyrics. And I'm like, how old are you again? Like, some of these songs, I was like, some of the songs I didn't even know. To be honest. Like, I got to do a little bit more research. That was beautiful to me, though, because it just reminded me how timeless music is. And especially in this age now of technology, it's so easy to have access to anything. You can, just randomly type in, give me a random song. And voila, there it is, a random song from 1928. Like,
and it wasn't like that for us. It was what our mama played or what was on the radio. Like,
that's what we heard.
Yeah, that's what we heard. But like, it's beautiful that, like, you can literally, like you said, just type in something and pull up any song. So
yeah, absolutely. So come through. 14-year-old with a banging playlist.
Yes, I love it. So T, where can they find us?
Oh, streets. We're around now, even more so now. So you can find us on Instagram at the Chapter 30 Podcast. You can find us on Snapchat and Twitter at Chapter 30 Pod. You can find us on Facebook at QueenTee. You can find us on YouTube at the Chapter 30 Podcast. Shoot us an email at the Chapter 30 Podcast at gmail.com.
And if you want to find us on our personal accounts, hey, you can do that. I'm Miss Kay Grace on Instagram.
Hey, shout out for the plug. I'm QueenTee Trill. What up?
It was fun.
Thank you so much for joining us. This episode was literally, we planned on it being 30 minutes. So I think it's like 5.5 hours.
It was fun. But I think this is it. What you think? I think this is episode 1 of season 2. What do you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel really good about it.
Me too.
All right. Streets, we'll see you in the next episode. Love you.
Love you. We out. Thanks for listening, guys. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us.
And don't forget to follow all of our social media platforms linked below. And remember, peace, love, and perspective.
Hey Streets, let me tell you about this cool app that we've been using to help us along our podcast journey. So it's called Anchor, and it's just really cool. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And also, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you don't have to worry about that part. You'll be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms, and Anchor will do it all for you. Also, you can make money from your podcast, and everything you need to make a podcast is all in one place. It's awesome. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. We'll see you there. Welcome to Chapter 30. I'm Miss Kay.
And I'm QueenTee.
This is a place for those women
and men
who feel that they have no one to talk to.
We're here. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Chapter 30 podcast, guys.
Welcome.
Miss Kay.
QueenTee.
Yes. So excited to be here.
Yes. Finally.
I know. It's been a long time coming, but we're here.
Yes.
I can't believe we made it.
Hey.
So let's just introduce ourselves, just so you guys can kind of put a face to the name. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm all over the place. But I'm Miss Kay, also known as Corinne, but you can call me Miss Kay or Miss Kay Grace. I'm from Connecticut, and I'm a Pisces.
Hey. I'm Tanisha, aka QueenTee.
Yes.
I currently reside in Georgia, but I'm from New York.
Yes.
And I'm a Libra.
Yes. So again, welcome to Chapter 30, guys. We are so excited to be starting this. It's been a long time coming, as I mentioned. We've been putting so much work behind the scenes, and now to be recorded, it's so exciting.
Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the support, the likes, the shares, the comments, the follow-ups, hey, where's this episode at? Just thank you. Thank you for all of it. Thank you.
It means so much. For those of you who have been here from the start, y'all are day ones. We really appreciate all of you guys, but the day ones, y'all kind of got a special place in our heart because y'all have been just every day somebody has been keeping us accountable. So
for real,
so much love for that. Thank you.
Into it, let's break it down. Let's tell them how we met.
Yes.
Why we came up with this idea. Where do we meet? We met at University of Hartford. We've been friends for 10 plus years now.
Yes.
Oh, it's been a long journey.
It has been. I can't believe it's been over 10 years.
Seriously.
Wow.
It's crazy. I feel like I've lived maybe 4 to 5 lives in the past.
Right.
It's crazy.
And again, when you hit 30, it's just you can start saying things like that. 10 years.
Yes.
It's just crazy.
For real. It's definitely been a bunch of different lives. But the one thing that has been constant in my life is Miss Kay throughout that whole time.
You too.
Yes. I appreciate her so much. And there's nobody in this world that I would love more to be doing this podcast with than her.
Same.
Seriously, my partner, my best friend, everything. So,
as well.
With that being said, Miss Kay and I really have this incredible bond. We have this sisterhood, and we just have shared so much with one another throughout the years. And a lot of those times we were saying, yo, if somebody was listening in on this conversation or just a fly on this wall, they'd be like, wait, what? What's going on?
Right.
And we've just shared so much with each other, and we decided that we wanted to share that with the world. We wanted to bring you guys into our bond, into our sisterhood, and hopefully we can all just gain something from it in some type of way.
Right. Like you mentioned before in one of our meetings, it will be a partnership, us with them, just all of us together, just learning, growing, teaching each other things, healing, loving, all of that. And with our conversations, we have text messages, voice memos, Facebook messages, for days. Talking about everything. The guys that we talk to, dating apps, work, school, just everything. Like everything. And just the conversations that we have, they're just like so deep, so just like amazing. Like I would like look at them as if, you know, I was like a third party, and I would just be blown away at just some of the things that like came up, like just naturally, you know, organically. So we just want to share that. I feel like the world could really gain a lot from it. So join us.
Yes, I agree 100%. And it's so crazy how this whole thing came about. Like, it just came from us talking naturally, just being friends,
right?
Sharing our life experience together. And then, oh, it's so funny. A couple of days ago, Miss Kay sent me a screenshot of one of her memories, and it was from 6 years ago
on Facebook.
When, when she was saying that her and I should have a TV show.
Right.
And here we are now, 6 years later, recording our first episode to our podcast.
Right.
Like, crazy.
Right.
Hashtag manifestation.
Yes. That's such an important, like, reoccurring theme in our friendship and in our podcast, with our brand, everything. Like, manifestation, like, so important. And you guys will see that throughout the episodes, really important to us. But that is so crazy how, like, I mentioned that TV show. I always want us to have like a reality show.
Yes.
Just print our text messages and like publish them and let it be a book. Because I mean, it's real. Like,
seriously,
it's so real. Like, we would just start off having a regular conversation, and before you know it, like, mind blown. You guys know the emoji with the head blown off. Like, that's the mood all the time talking to.
Thank God for iPhone for that emoji.
Yes, that's everything.
There's no words like to express. That is the best emoji ever, like, especially at this point in time.
All the time.
Yes.
Like, therapeutic, funny. Yes. Like, it's just from every end of the spectrum. Like, just. It's just really intense, like, and you can tell it's really passionate, and it's just something else. So, again, we are excited to do this because it's just like, you know what? Why not share it with the world? And
right.
So
and we don't want to scare you guys off in any type of way. No. Like, we don't want you to feel like, you know, you're going to be walking into our office, laying down on our couch, going through therapy, like. It's just this podcast is going to reflect our friendship. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be healing, there's going to be laughter. You know, it's just going to be really well-rounded. So don't feel like you're going to walk away from each episode, you know, walking into the world with an open wound. Like, you know, it's going to be very well-rounded.
Right.
We're going to have fun and laughter and games and joking as well as facing the tough stuff, because you just can't avoid it.
Exactly. And a lot of people in this world, they don't have, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, you know, may have a best friend or a really close family member, or, you know, maybe you don't, unfortunately, but, you know, sad to say, there are a lot of people who don't have someone to turn to. So that's why we want to create this platform, so that everyone has someone. We are like on every social media platform, which will be linked below somewhere. And you can always reach out to us. We're not professionals, but we're here. And, you know, we want you to know we're here, and we will assist you in any way that we can. So that's a big thing too with us. Like, you know, we don't want anyone to feel alone. Like, no matter what it is, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, like, you know, there needs to be someone for everyone. And for you guys, we're here.
Yeah. And that was actually the backbone of us creating this podcast. We just really, really wanted to make sure that there was nobody out there suffering in silence.
Right.
We have these platforms, like Miss Kay said. We have an email address. If you want to reach out and you want to discuss a topic that we haven't discussed yet, or if you just want to share something with us, like, we're here to listen. We're here to be supportive. We're here to for the sisterhood. And we're here for the men too. Like, you know, if there's anything that you want to discuss, anything that you feel like sharing, we're here.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear us say that all the time. We're here because we really are here. We're here for one another, Miss Kay and I, but we're also, you know, we want to reflect that to the world.
Totally agree. So we'll talk a little bit about how we came up with the name Chapter 30. So I'm 31.
I'm 30.
So as you can see, we just joined this beautiful 30s club. And
Yes.
when you turn 30,
girl,
let me tell you, it's just different. It's just a different turn in your life. Like,
yes.
and we just want to document it and go through it, like with the podcast. Like, when you turn 30, things just change. Like from your 30s to your 20s, like I just already see a huge difference. And I'm only 31, so I'm like, oh my gosh, imagine when I'm like, 35, 36. But like I've always told like anyone I come in contact with, like it's just different. Like I can't explain it. It's just a different vibe.
Yes.
So with the podcast, it's just like, why not go through, our 30s, like just on this platform with you guys.
And it's so crazy because I just turned 30 a couple of months ago, and I don't know if I'm making myself believe this or if this is really what it is.
It's real.
But it just felt like there was a switch. Like there was just a turn. And you really just start to, you know what? We're going to be talking about this later on, but it may have to do with expectations. You know what I mean? That kind of, that time clock clicking in your head or whatever. But it just felt like, whoa, like I need to do some self-reflection. Like I need to be feeling more self-aware. I need to be feeling more motivated. I need to be feeling more loving. Like whatever it is, like it was just like a light switch that just turned on in my head. Like, oh, let me start reflecting on my 20s and see where I can learn from that and see how I can grow as a person.
That part.
It's crazy.
Yes. And like the 20s, like they're an amazing time of your life. I feel like it's the time where you're just learning. I mean, I feel like your whole life you learn yourself, but there's just something about your 20s where you're just making mistakes and learning and growing. And it's just, and then like when you turn 30, it's just like, like it's time for you to reflect on that past decade and be like, all right, I didn't like how that felt, or I want to heal here, or, it's different. So I'm excited. I was scared to turn 30. I'm not going to lie. But like she said, that light switch went off. And, when I saw that I was still, looking young and still feeling good, I was like, okay, I'm here for 30.
Right.
When people was like, wait, are you 22? I'm like, oh, okay, I can do 30. I can do it.
Like 30 is okay for me. Okay, working.
I can do 30, as long as it looks like 20 something. I can do 30.
30 is the new 20.
For real.
Okay. I think another reason why we decided to go with the name Chapter 30 is there's a part of both of Miss Kay and I that is just very artistic, very creative. We are both writers. So we wanted our piece of art that we are sharing with the world to sound like a piece of art. A lot of the times we just like live our lives. It's almost like we're living our life in a musical. Like there's a lot of times that we use song lyrics to express how we feel. We use memes, gifs, like so that's just how we are. We're just very like expressive in a creative way. So it just made sense for the title of our podcast to just sound like a book because that's our life. Like we are characters in our own books.
Totally agree with that.
Guys, I know you are wondering, like, okay, so you know who we are now, what the podcast is or why we named it this podcast, but what exactly are we going to be talking about?
Right.
So like we said, it's basically our life experiences, everything that kind of led us up to this point, up to chapter 30. So we're going to be discussing a crazy amount of topics. We're going to be talking about self-awareness. We're going to be talking about dating apps, social media, the savage culture, which is my favorite. That's my favorite topic right now. I don't know why. So we're just going to be covering everything. We already have a lineup of things that we want to discuss, but again, we want this to be super interactive. So if there's anything that you guys want us to discuss and we don't have it on our lineup already, please let us know and we will add it to the lineup.
Yes, because we're going to be really flexible because, this is all of our safe.
this is for all of us. Like, this is y'all's podcast too. So if you guys want to talk about something different, like, we're really flexible, and we look forward to hearing, different ideas and topics. So please just
I can't wait. I can't wait to get the feedback. I'm so excited because I'm gonna be like, I feel like I'm gonna read an email and somebody's gonna say something. I'm like, oh my god, I never even thought about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh yes, let's talk about that tomorrow.
Exactly. And also, we're gonna be having guests, guys. So if you're interested in or even if you have like a product or a book, or you're doing something creative or selling something, let us know, because we're all about supporting each other, supporting small businesses, supporting Black-owned businesses. So we here, we ready.
We here. Listen, if you need to advertise, whatever it is.
So excited. And we have a few things lined up from a few people already.
Yes, we do.
So we're excited we're excited. Like, guys, would you believe, like, we kind of got the whole season semi done already, with room for, like, wiggle room, but we put in a lot of work, and we just cannot wait to share it all. Like,
yes. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys though. It is a little nerve-wracking because I feel like I don't know if you feel the same, Kay, but I feel like I'm putting my whole life out there for the world to just, like, it almost feels like being naked. You know what I mean?
Very
like,
much
it
so.
just feels
Very
so
vulnerable.
vulnerable.
Very much so, because like you mentioned, savage culture, and we ain't gonna go in, but we live in a savage culture. So people like to be negative. People like to put people down. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of beautiful, amazing, supportive people, because a lot of them are you guys. You guys are amazing, the support that you give. But to be completely honest, like, we live in a time where we do put each other down a lot. And when you're doing something as vulnerable as this, like talking about trauma and past, and it's a lot. So I'm a little scared too, but we got this.
Oh yeah, we got it. And I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us for actually not only talking about it, but doing it, putting the work in behind it. Manifestation. So let's talk about 2 hashtags that you guys are going to see a lot, or I guess it could be considered 4 hashtags. You're going to see WYT, and you're going to see peace, love, and perspective. And all of that kind of culminates into what type of environment that we want our podcast to be and what it is going to be. So the first one, WYT. Throughout this kind of brainstorming process, putting this podcast together, it's a partnership. It's a partnership between Miss Kay and I. And so during the brainstorming part of it, we had to ask each other for a lot of feedback. And we ended up asking each other, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? So we basically just shortened that to WYT. But it just had so much more meaning behind it. It just was like we were opening ourselves up to one another, because of a lot of topics that we're discussing, not a lot, but, a decent amount are pretty heavy, intense topics. So we just wanted to make sure that the other one was comfortable enough to speak on it, or if there were certain topics that we didn't want to speak on, whatever it was, that it wasn't just like, what do you think, but how are you? Are you okay? You know what I mean? There was more love involved into making the podcast. There was a lot of thought behind it. So we just want you guys to know that. And then we also have the peace, love, and perspective. That just that's where we are right now in chapter 30 in our lives. And if we don't have that right now, that's what we're striving for. Those are the 3 things. Peace of mind, love, perspective. Like, that's just, I don't know how else to describe that, because that sounds like where I want to be in life. Like,
right. That's just the vibe, period. The vibe of the podcast, the vibe of life. Like you said, if it's not there, we got to strive for it. So that's just really important. Totally agree.
Exactly. And that kind of goes into our expectations. That's what you guys can expect from us. You can expect for this to be an environment that feels like peace, love, and perspective. You can, we want you guys to be super involved in this process, in this journey with us. So that's why you're going to see the WYT. Like, we want to know what you guys are thinking. We want to get feedback and everything from you guys. We want to see the emails. We want to see the comments. So this is not just a sisterhood between Miss Kay and I. This is a family. You know what I mean? Our listeners included.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So we want this to be positive. We want it to feel like a safe place. We want it to feel like home. It's going to be super open. It's going to be honest. We're naturally non-judgmental people, but we just really want that to reflect in our podcast.
Totally agree. Another expectation is expected to be really real. Like,
Yes.
we are starters in this podcast game, so we're still learning. And as we mentioned, manifestation. So, like, we have a lot of goals. We have a lot of things that we want to accomplish and places that we are going to be, like, shortly, like 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. We are starters with this podcast business, but we're steady learning, but at the same time we're starters, so there's a lot that we have to learn, a lot that we want to evolve to. So just be on the lookout for a lot of changes, a lot of goals that we'll be reaching, but just be patient with us because we're
Yeah.
new. So if you have tips and tricks, feel free to let us know. But we're
Yeah.
learning, and it's just gonna be real. So like episode 1 compared to episode 5 or 20, like you're gonna see major changes and differences because we're both perfectionists, we're both creative, as QueenTee mentioned. So we just are steady working on our craft and making it better. So
Right.
look out for that.
Exactly. And I think the same thing that is probably going to be expected of us from our listeners or our audience is the same thing that we expect from you guys. So we would appreciate the positivity, the love, the support. We've been feeling that already. We haven't even dropped anything. But we just really want that love and that support that Miss Kay and I have for each other, just to be reflected in our audience as well.
Right.
So we're not here to discriminate against anybody. We're not here to hurt any feelings. It's not that type of vibe. We're
Not
not
at
on
all.
we're not part of that savage culture. We're not trying to be
Right.
we're not trying to be anything different than what we are. So we are, I tell Miss K this from time to time. Like, I love her for just being her. And
Thank you.
I want my viewers, you're welcome. I want our viewers to come as you are. Like, I want you to just be who you are. We don't want any walls up. We don't want like Miss K said, it's really real. So be who you are, but just in a loving way.
Right. I'm
I
gonna
don't know
be
if I like that.
honest. If it was up to me, us and our little loveys, like we will all just be in a bubble where it's just like positive sweetness, cotton candy, all that good stuff. But like I know, like with the good comes the bad. So as I mentioned before, like I'm just preparing myself for, like, I'm open for criticism, but like I have to prepare myself for just all kinds of feedback. And I think that's something that like we're both preparing ourselves for, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it is what
Like, I'm ready for the constructive
I'm
criticism.
saying always.
I don't know if I'm ready for the trolling.
Right. And again, that savage culture. But be on the
Right.
lookout for that savage culture episode. That's gonna be a good
I
one.
can't wait.
Y'all not gonna want to miss that one because
For real. I can't wait. That's my favorite. That's my favorite topic.
like what?
Oh, I can't
That's
wait.
gonna be a real good one.
Seriously. I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for the support. I want to thank everybody so much for keeping us just on task. Like, when we decided to come out onto social media platforms, there's been people that's been like keeping up tabs with us. Like, okay, what is it posting? Like, the first time I went on Snapchat with it, somebody hit me up and was like, "What time?" Like,
The
and I was like,
streets.
"Oh, okay."
The streets
the
been
street,
watching and
the streets
waiting.
been waiting and watching. Like, seriously, you guys are gonna hear us say the streets a lot
Yeah,
because
y'all the streets.
y'all the streets.
Yes, we've been calling y'all the streets this whole time, so it's not even an inside joke. We like y'all on the inside too, like y'all the streets, and we know y'all been watching and waiting, so y'all gonna hear that, and we love it. We love
Yes,
it.
yes, exactly. And the last thing I want to say personally is I just want to put a disclaimer out there that although we are here for you guys, you know, to listen and give whatever advice that we can, we are not professionals. We are not licensed, but we have gone through our fair share of life. So that's where we're coming from. We're coming from our own experiences. But, you know, if ever you feel in any type of way that it's something that you feel like you need medical attention, please, you know, go to somebody who's licensed, a licensed professional.
Totally agree. And if you need help locating anything like that, we can definitely assist you to
yes
sources. But I totally agree with her.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek into what our first episode. I'm just gonna tell you the title. I'm not gonna give you no no deets like that. But the first official episode is going to be self-awareness. And stay tuned.
Stay tuned, guys. It's gonna be a good one.
Yes, it is. It's gonna be really real. So we're planning on posting that really, really soon. So just be on the lookout.
Yes.
You know where to find us.
Yes, we're everywhere.
Seriously.
We're everywhere. So make sure you just stay tuned to our social media platforms. We're always posting. We're always there. And that's how you'll know when we'll be posting up new episodes.
That's right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, guys. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us.
And don't forget to follow all of our social media platforms linked below. And remember, peace, love, and perspective.